Broadcasting live from the Vegas Video Network studios, just steps from the Las Vegas Strip. It's time to release the Junkyard Dog. It's time for Trash Talking with Legends.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. Trash Talking with Legends. We are back here on the Strip. It's live. It's March. You got the madness of college basketball. We're here on the Vegas Video Network and the Basketball Channel. We're doing it big.
We're trying our best.
We got the Dog Pound. We got Butch here. How you feeling today, Butch? Butch is feeling nice. He's ready for the action. There's a lot of March Madness going on. A lot of future NBA picks.
We're gonna get into all that. It's that time of year. I'm of course the co-host Joshua Williams. I'm here with my brother, the Junkyard Dog.
That's it.
We're ready to go.
We're excited. I even got my Big East.
It's
my Big East championship ring with the Elite Eight on there.
Ray Allen was just in town.
Man, don't talk about Ray Allen.
We don't want to talk about Ray.
We're not talking about Ray Allen.
But
shout out to Ray Allen. Shout out to my boy.
Let's go ahead and open up with a little Doghouse. Who's in our Doghouse?
Let's go. It's all about the dog.
I think this week we're gonna do something a little different. I want to focus a lot on teams and who our teams are.
Okay.
So who are your Doghouse teams right now?
Well, I got one team in particular that's in my Doghouse. This is one of my former teams. I even have the JYD Raptor bobblehead just to show the fans you're a legend when you have a bobblehead. You don't have a bobblehead, I don't know.
It's not real.
If you can be a legend. That's why we're trash talking. But the Toronto Raptors, thank you for wearing the old school JYD because they're in my Doghouse right now.
Fear the dinosaur. This is purple.
We need to go
right
back
here.
to the dinosaur purple because right now the Raptors are 15-19 since January 1st. 15-19. You can't have that. 7 losses in the last 10 games of in January. Okay? And on top of that, 5 straight losses to finish the month of February. Of course, following the All-Star game.
Yeah.
So they came back from All-Star break. They were just totally flat.
They were still on break.
They were still on break. Okay? And then, as of last night, that was their first win in the last 5 games.
That's not going to get it done.
That's not playoff basketball. We were sitting on the number 2 spot right behind Atlanta. Don't just say we. I'm sorry. I always say we when I'm talking about one of my former teams. You didn't notice that. Wake up. Butch, keep the people awake, all right? Cool. So, they're in my Doghouse. Now,
how can they get out of the Doghouse? What's the way they can get out?
Well, what I see them doing is that they need to be able to exactly do what they did last night. Play well against a playoff team. They shot 52% from 3 last night while holding Indiana to 10% from 3. That means they were playing defense. They also out-rebounded them 50-36.
That's how you get it done. I think.
What's your team?
For me, I have
Give me
to
your
go.
Doghouse.
I have to go with another one of our teams. This is my team. This is the Wizards. We got to talk about the
hometown boys.
Got to bring it back to the DMV.
DC. That's it.
Just like the Raptors, they've fallen on hard times since the beginning of the year. Both these teams were fighting for the number 1 spot in the East, right behind Atlanta for the majority of the season. Cleveland got hot, and both of our teams fell by the wayside. Since January 1st, we've only won 1 more game than you guys. We're 16-19.
Okay.
But over that stretch, we lost the 11-13 in January. And then we had so many weak losses. We've had, during the stretch, we've lost twice to Charlotte. We've lost twice to Detroit, Minnesota, those type of. Minnesota. That was KG's first game back to Minnesota.
He was excited.
So I'll let that one ride.
He brought the madness.
We've got to do better. We've got to do better.
So, what would you do to change things if you're going to right this ship?
The easiest way, truthfully, is the reason that they were playing so well is we play defense. We're a defensive team in the East. We're one of the top 10 defensive teams when they're playing well, and outside of that, they've got to beat some teams. They've got to beat some real teams, not just beating the cupcake teams, beating the New Yorks, and beating Charlotte and people like that.
It's playoff time now. Both teams have to step up. They have to beat teams that they're going to face or potentially face in the playoffs. So without that, neither team is going to get anywhere.
It doesn't work. It won't work.
This is Trash Talking with Legends. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
That's always nice. It's always nice to come out of
always
break
good.
with the beat bumping. But let's talk about a little what if. Today's what if segment is brought to you by our friends at 9450, the world's first smart basketball. The 9450 basketball measures any force applied to it, spin, acceleration, you name it. The ball is going to give you data and feedback to your device that is smart, actionable, and precise.
I love this ball right here. This ball works. My kid, Jeremiah, he's tearing the ball. He's tearing up the court with this ball. He's talking about his stats, telling them what he's doing. It's good. 9450. Josh, what if? Let's talk about this week. Again, changing things up. We got to keep it fresh on Trash Talking with Legends. So this week, let's go with under 25 years old, starting 2 franchise players. So basically, you have to build a franchise. You get your choice of 2, but they have to be in the NBA and under 25. Who are you going to go with?
Okay, all right. For me, I coach. So I still believe in, old school basketball, having a perimeter player and having a monster inside. If you have both of those things, if you have 2 players that are like that, it brings you a long way. My first player has to be Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis.
Okay.
He's tearing up the league right now. The man almost had a quadruple double the other night. Those don't happen. That happens in video. That's hard in video games.
Yeah, Tim Duncan did it once.
Yeah, once. And that's the first time in
Keem
30
Olajuwon.
years. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Every Hall of Famers.
Hall of Fame.
If you do it, you're more than likely in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
The man's 4th in points, 10th in rebounds, 7th in field goal percentage. He's leading
good
the
numbers.
team in the West.
Okay.
I won't say by himself, but he doesn't have a whole lot of help. But he's getting it done. 3-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year. But next up, I've got to go with another Kentucky alum.
Okay.
I've got to go. I've got to keep it with DMV, DC, the Wizards. I got to go John Wall.
Is this just because Kentucky's number 1 in the brackets this week?
No, you know that I do not care for Kentucky. So
Okay.
That is
Just wanted to clarify for the people. We got a lot of people out
sorry,
there.
Georgetown. Anyway, but for me, it's got to be John Wall, 2nd in the whole league in assists. He was 1st for a while. When the Wizards fell on bad times, he's kind of come back to the pack a little bit. But he's continuing
You're going
to get
fast.
better.
You're going quick.
He's going better.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
All right. Well, first of all, I'm going to start things off. I'm going to go to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, and I'm going to pick up that point guard we call the bus driver, Mr. Kyrie Irving. And there's a few reasons why.
Uncle Drew.
21 points a game, 5, almost averaging 6 assists, 3.5 rebounds, and 1.4 steals. That's just his stat line to start with.
Okay, all right.
If you watch TNT, he's backing up this bus and putting people in the blender. He hit 57 points just the other night, just for fun. Okay? He's quick. He's fast. He does it good. That's the way it works. Kyrie Irving. He's 9th in points in the league. He's actually number 2. His team is number 2 in the Eastern Conference, so he shows he can be a leader. He can take it on his back.
I'll let you continue.
Yes, let me continue. Don't interrupt
continue.
me, please. Butch, bite him if he tries to interrupt me again. Rookie of the Year, 2012, and the 3-point champion and All-Star Game MVP. Now, that's just where I start.
Okay, all right.
Because then when I go to my second guy, who's under 25, he might be a little injured right now. Okay? But before he got injured, Paul George from the Indiana Pacers, put up the Pacers logo. Show him what we're talking about. Okay? 2 times in the Eastern Conference Finals. He led the team. Back to back. So that's just to let you know who I'm choosing. I'm choosing guys that get us to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
All right. So step back. Where do your guys lead in that category?
I'm not even gonna go there because I can.
Okay.
I know it's trash talk.
Yeah.
But
trash talk. Talk.
Let's
talk. Let me hear it.
Let's go ahead and get into our injury report.
Let's take the injuries. Ambulance is out.
Get the medic.
Hey, this injury report is brought to you by Regenix. The future of orthopedic medicine is here and now. Be sure to call Regenix for all your orthopedic needs at 1-800-281-3757 and use your Trash Talkin 25% discount code ESP-25. That's ESP-25. Injury report. Josh, what we got?
Again, like we said in the beginning, we want to talk about teams. Which teams could ill afford to have an injury at this point in the year.
Yeah.
And some of these teams that we're going to talk about actually have just taken another hit. So these points are really going to be called into question. So I'd like to start truthfully with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay.
They're playing great basketball right now. You know that I'm not gonna go there.
They got a good bench.
They're playing
Shumpert's playing out of his mind.
Everyone is starting to gel a little bit.
Kyrie 57, LeBron 31. Just
Kyrie, he has not been known to go full 82 game seasons. And if
True.
we're talking about having a deep playoff run, they might want to chill him down a little bit. I'm just saying. That's just from my personal opinion, because if he goes down, I don't know if LeBron can carry them by himself. He needs that secondary figure. As you saw, last night they didn't play well against the Heat, but when they did beat the Spurs, Kyrie had 57, and LeBron really didn't get all the way hot until the end of the game. Truthfully,
hey, listen, doesn't matter when you get all the way hot. Okay, as long as you get hot. That last 3-pointer in the fourth quarter, and
if the game is over, hot doesn't matter.
You see that? I
did see it. Was it
dog pound. Butch. I'm going with the Golden State Warriors.
That's a good pick.
Golden State, they can't afford any injuries as well. They're number one in the West. Ill afford like a David Lee.
Yeah.
Again, last year, yeah. David Lee got hurt, hamstring, right? Wasn't able to play in the playoffs, and then that really took them out of contention, I believe. Yeah. I think that was really the deciding
had the series.
factor.
They had another series in the bag. I mean, each year they've had people on the ropes, and then an injury strikes in the playoffs, and it basically turns the tables for the other team the last 2 years. I think my third team, the third team we're going to select rather is a big proponent of this, and the only reason they're even in the position they're in right now is because of injuries.
Right.
They've had injuries to all of their marquee stars, and that would be the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
Oklahoma City, they've weathered the storm, I would say, for the most part of the season. But with Serge Ibaka now getting cut on, they were just starting to gel with Enes Kanter.
And that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Really.
And he was playing fine.
Yeah.
I think Enes Kanter, Kanter has emerged.
Hey, but the two of them were starting to gel really well,
right.
And for them to have to take this setback right before playoffs start, happening. That's unfortunate.
Well, we hope that is not anything major in his knee.
Yeah.
Because they weren't specific in terms of his injury report. So we'll wait on that information. But I'm going to go up northwest with the Portland Trail Blazers.
Okay. All right.
They are another team that, positioned in the playoffs right now, right at that 3 spot, really battling for 3-4 at this point.
Yeah.
And, they had the
trying
situation
to keep Houston down.
with Damian Lillard being that focal point. LaMarcus Aldridge, he had a thumb injury that he decided, hey, I'm going to pull back. I'm going to continue playing. So he's playing like a stud. But then Wesley Matthews goes down.
Yeah.
Wesley Matthews is, of course, their number one shooter. He's a two-way player. He guards the 2 and actually can score.
Yeah.
He's a top 3-point shooter in the league. I think one of the top 3 in the league right now.
I think he was number 1 or number 2 when he went
in field
down.
goal percent.
Yeah.
No, number 2 because Kyle Korver, our
that's
shooter,
it.
Kyle Korver.
Yeah.
Atlanta Hawks, come on now. Legends know. Yeah, so from that standpoint, I think the Portland Trail Blazers on this injury report are a very important team to look for right now in terms of they can't afford anything else.
Yeah.
That Aaron Afalo pickup at the trade deadline
was
huge, keeping them alive.
And that was before West even went down. So that was like manna from God. that might have saved them, truthfully.
They definitely got a plug right there. And I think, overall injuries from Cleveland, they can't afford anything. Of course, like Kyrie Irving,
or LeBron.
Been a little susceptible.
LeBron's knee has been flaring up again.
Kevin Love's back.
Yeah.
Okay. Golden State, David Lee,
Steph, Clay.
You know who's durable? Draymond Green.
Yeah.
He's just one of those hard hat guys. Did you see the other day when he got bumped?
Yeah, nothing.
Oh my gosh.
What are you doing here?
He was trash talking after the game. That was official trash talk, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Draymond Green, you're going to have him on the show.
Look back.
He looked like, oh, my gosh.
Did you just bump me? And the other guy got fined.
Yeah. OKC, of course, Westbrook, he's a stud.
Yeah.
Playing through pain. He gets his face cracked, puts a mask on, comes back with a triple-double.
Straight up.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, we're Trash Talking with Legends, and we'll be right back. So stay tuned. More Trash Talking with Legends, Vegas Video Network.
Hey, I'm the Junkyard Dog, Jerome Williams, and this is my move of the day. My first move I'd like to describe is the front to left between the legs crossover. Now, like any move, there are certain elements of skill that you must have to make this move effective. You have to be able to put the ball on the ground with a hard dribble. You notice that there are two ways I use the power dribble. The first could be set up with dribbling the ball between your legs. Another variation might be a soft setup between the legs with a power crossover. It's not hard to practice your power dribbling, but it is hard to keep it interesting. An amazing way I've found to keep it interesting and build skills fast is using the 9450 Smart Basketball. The app not only counts my bounces, but it tells me how hard I'm putting the ball on the ground. It's a killer product. And that's my move of the day.
Rhythmic dog, harmonic dog, house dog, stick dog, dog for the world unite, dancing dogs.
It's Roger Mason Jr., formerly of the Miami Heat, and I'm trash talking with legends.
Shout out to Roger Mason, he's right underneath the Deputy Executive Director for the union. So shout out to him and, of course, DC native.
That's my guy. I went to high school with Roger.
Okay.
I mean, that was good counsel. 99, we were number 4 in the whole country.
Roger had a lot to do with that.
Yes, he did.
Let's go to draft class.
Today's draft class segment is sponsored by the proud folks at iDrink. iDrink is your provider for organic beverages that are gluten-free, non-GMO, and kosher certified to help provide healthy, satisfying refreshment.
There you have it. The draft class is up, and, of course, we can also talk about, like, who's in the draft. And let's talk about the Knicks first because they're number one on the list.
Oh, geez.
They're sitting at the worst record in the NBA right now.
Let's pray for all of New York that they get the number 1 pick. If they don't get the number 1 pick after like 3 straight bad years, I don't know what some Knicks fans will do.
Okay, if they get the number 1 pick, what do they need?
I mean, if they get the number 1 pick,
opinion.
They truthfully need a big. They have to get a big because, you know, like a point guard for them really isn't going to get it done right now. They need another
ding, ding,
another
ding,
player.
ding, 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 ding. Butch agrees.
Okay.
Number 2, we got the Philadelphia 76ers. What do they need?
They need a point, obviously. They gave up their best player, who was Michael Carter Williams, MCW, for a bag of beans, got nothing back.
True.
And, you know, so what they didn't
Why
replace
did you
him.
Trade
I don't
Michael
even
Carter
want to talk
Williams?
about that.
Wasn't
That was
he
a but
the
did,
first
they didn't
rookie
get anything.
since Magic to average 15, 5, and 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Philadelphia.
With no one around them.
That's Philadelphia. So let's
the third worst team right now would be the Minnesota Timberwolves. What do they need?
Well, obviously, they just got traded for the big ticket, so he's back, and he's going to obviously transition into something within the Minnesota community. But they need a big. Yeah. They obviously need a big. Their bigs right now, other than Kev, are who? Don't worry, you don't know because they're not in the playoffs.
I know who's there.
We're just going to trash talk.
But fair enough.
We don't know who they are.
He knows who he is.
We know they have Andrew Wiggins, who is soon to be Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
They have Zach LaVine, who tore the rim up at All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Other than that, well, hey, we'll
the cupboard is bare.
We'll see. They got some shooters, though. Number 4, oh, goodness. We never see this team.
I know.
In the draft class.
But it helps.
Lakers.
It's going to help them. They have to make a solid pick.
Julius Randle, if he hadn't have broke his leg in the first game, the first game of the season, I don't think they'd be in this conversation.
Here. I think they'd be bad, but I don't think they'd be here.
Yeah, they wouldn't be this bad, yes. Because they had Steve Nash go down, Julius Randle go down,
Steve Nash
and
never
Kobe
was up.
go down.
Steve was down from the count.
Oh, my gosh. You going to do my class of 96
I love
like
Steve,
that?
but he
Back up off of Steve.
He was taking a stand in 8.
Off of
he was
Steve.
taking a stand in 8.
That's my Canadian. That's my Canadian brother.
I love Steve, though. Steve's a great
Back
guy.
up. Number 5, Orlando Magic. They need a big. They need a wing. They need a wing.
Yeah.
Orlando.
They do. They've drafted everything else over the last 4 years. They've got every other side.
Injury to Aaron Gordon the first month. There's another rookie that was up
never
for
even had a chance.
Potentially rookie of the year, never got a chance, never got his feet under him, and he'll be back next year. And of course, with the emergence of Mr. Nikola, I don't know how to pronounce some of these.
He's
my
doing
European
work.
Slang is not up to speed.
He's doing work.
But he's doing work, so I got to give him a shout out.
Who did
Elfrid Payton was a good pickup in Oladipo the last 2 years, so that's why they need a wing. Now, let's talk about who they should be drafting. So let's start with the Knicks. Who do you think who are you going to go with? Karl Towns or Jahlil Okafor?
Jahlil Okafor. They need somebody that's solid, has great footwork.
So you're saying Karl Towns is not solid?
He is solid, Jerome.
Are
but
you kidding me?
Hey, look
this
here.
man is a beast.
Look here, okay?
He also has
the super friends behind him. Okafor has a good team, but he doesn't have the super friends.
Okay, if you haven't noticed, which you obviously haven't, he gets triple teamed.
Yeah, okay.
And he's a great passer out of the post. And pick and pop basketball, he shoots the three. Now, again, people, excuse my younger brother.
Oh, come on.
For his lack of legendary
status. He's the
status.
number one.
Butch, what you have to say?
Pick right now.
You agree, right? I know.
Just
Good
because
job.
you have fans out there does not help you.
Philly, I think they should go with either. Let me see here.
See?
They obviously got Moutier, and they also have D'Angelo Russell.
Moutier.
You going to go with Moutier?
Bring him from China. Just import him in.
Okay.
Bring him in from the Orient.
Shout out to Moutier. Minnesota, they need a wing. Who you going with?
I look.
You already know my pick.
Truthfully, I'm all the way
You
up
got
to
Stanley Johnson, you got Justice Winslow, and you've got, of course, the man of the hour, Mr. Kelly Oubre, Kansas. So you know what time it is.
Well, we've come to the end of another great show. We've come to the end of another great show.
Not yet.
Look,
you got Orlando.
Well, Orlando, they need a wing as well. So Kelly, I'm saying Kelly.
All right. Well, guys, thanks again for joining us with Trash Talking with Legends. You can catch us on the Vegas Video Network, YouTube, Roku, and of course the Basketball Channel.